calling you a radical. So another well has washed up dead in my city by the bay, in San Francisco. So San Francisco bootlicking imperialist media is reporting number 8 that is washed up in the bay this year. So my number, and I am the world's foremost expert, my army, whatever, we're sitting at about 253 right now, washed up dead. Now stay with me. I have connections at the Laguna and the birthing grounds. Getting down. So according to them, they first reported to me, I'm the first one that reported at 40 dead wells in the bay, and then they said 80, and then they said 100. Now they're saying every single pregnant mother. That's what they're saying. So that number way north of 100. So we've been counting all the way from Mexico to, British Columbia. I get emails every day from my army up there. Here. So you can try to squash my view count all the fuck you want. It doesn't fucking really matter. Everybody's heard my rhetoric so many fucking times, but I was just in an event and this woman come up to me and she's, oh my God, it's Kevin Lash. She says, I got to tell you, that supercomputer head of yours, whoa. I says, well, a lot of work, for sure. So, Noah, and you've heard this a million times, it's rhetorical, it's broken record on Balco. You've heard this a million times from me. Noah, who was in denial this even happened, as I did it in real time as it was happening, predicted it before. That's what a real scientist does. A good scientist, that's what he does. Hypothesis knowledge, did the field work while I'm in critical condition. Working up down that coast. Noah finally come out of denial in 2019, says, yep, this unusual mortality event, that they were lying that it even happened, in denial that it ever happened, no field observation, no work, declared it over. And as you know what I said, fuck you, it ain't over till Kevin Blanche says it's over. Fucking, that's a fact. I says, it ain't over. Fuck this catastrophe, and it's been confirmed. 75 biologists came out and said, yes, Kevin Blanche was right. The gray well and the humpback well fucking starvation event started in fucking 2012. With no field observation, no hypothesis. I mean, look, how can you be a scientist with no fucking field observation? No fucking field. Show me yours. I showed you mine. I had to go transparent. I put it on when YouTube used to call themselves the great, equalizer, the transparent place. If fucking Gaza hasn't proven to you, if this hasn't proven to you, Fukushima hasn't proven to you how captured fucking the nuclear energy cult is, how captured academia is, I don't know what the fuck, what proof do you fuckers need? By the way, if there's a buzz in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed. It's just a spring clean for the fucking May Queen. But this year I haven't heard no buzz in my hedgerow. Scientists are mystified, they're alarmed. Should be all kinds of bees right here, all over these. The birds right here, I live on the edge of the Great Salt Lake. How well have I documented that fucking catastrophe in this fucking bootlickers? I mean, I love how they get people from New York or fucking people that never been here going to tell you about the fucking Great Salt Lake. I grew up on it. That fucking tree line you see right there, that's the Weber River. In fact, that's where Jim Bridger came, right there. How come they didn't do anything for him? Because he adopted the native ways. I see up in the Ogden Valley is going to do their 200 year when the first Whitey got up there. They're going to do an event. So let's see if we get a starling. They're not native here. Let's see if we can get a pink flash. Got a little summer breeze. Makes me feel fine. Going through the jasmine. No fucking birds. Late May. I haven't been all spring. We're talking one of the great flyways on the fucking planet right here. I grew up here. I've been here my whole life. This guy should be black right now. There's not even any fucking seagulls. I mean, nothing. No songbirds. I mean, fuck, I've been here my whole life. And it should be right now. You should hear hundreds of birds Dozens and dozens of different species. Here we go. Promontory. No flash tonight. No. No flash tonight. Interesting. Fucking sterile, man. The mighty fucking Wasatch. Look, she's as beautiful as she's ever been. Really beautiful. The mighty Mount Ogden. Thomas Hart-Benton. I envision someday, standing right there, May 10th, 1869. The statue of Christopher Columbus on the highest Rocky Mountain peak. Psychos. But pass out the smallpox blankets. So another well is washed up. Ooh, what's that? So this, I mean, it's just the Great Pacific Genocide. I named it right. So anyway, you're all in denial. And all I can do is just keep recording and doing my work. Be as transparent as I can get. You know, so, I grew up here in San Diego, in Pacific Beach. You want to know what I looked like then? Well, look at the pictures what I did look like. There's plenty of pictures with my shirt off all over. I walked by, I didn't have a shirt on. I remember getting kicked out of Disneyland one time. I didn't want to go there for not having my shirt on. Just look up Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's exactly how I acted in that exact era. That's what I drank. I was talking to this is important for you people educating yourself. Did Doc Ricketts have a marine biology degree? Did he? Did Doc Ricketts have a marine biology degree? Did he? I can walk and chew gum. Everybody badmouth Doc Ricketts. Doc Ricketts, the most famous marine biologist in the United States, in California, bar none. The great tide pool, which is one hell of a tide pool at Monterey, is named after him. Did Doc Ricketts have any... Well, he went to University of Chicago very, 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 very little. I have a really formal education, so we're talking about this today. And my counselor at Weber State, when that was incredible, I was a BIS doing all science, finance, fine art, heavily on finance at the time. My counselor was Shannon Sharp's auntie. Yeah, the football players, when those guys were doing their thing. She was my counselor. She was incredible. And then Mike White was my other counselor. They put a lot of work and a lot of time into me. And they're like, what are you going to do? Blah, 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 blah. There was a struggle between art, finance. I remember telling her, well, there's something in my head all the time. Because I was so good at finance and that's where everybody pushed me, my art career or whatever. And I said, there's always something been in my head my whole time that if I want to be happy and if I want to really do what I'm supposed to do, I should be a marine biologist. I remember her telling her that. And she says, well, you're so far removed from that right now. I mean, you freelance somewhat with it, but you're all finance. You're finance. And I says, yeah, I know, but I really think that's, I don't know. And she's like, you should follow your passion and follow your heart, Kevin. That brain of yours, you can do whatever you want. I had the great plaster, and I like being the plaster. I always knew in the back of my head, always, growing up on this landscape, it's like, I love that line. Cameron Crowe, PB, he hung around the same fucking place I did, which was Nick's. right there. His mom, right there. I mean, my family's been at PB since 1857, 1847 actually. So I think about it a lot because there's a line in that movie that really makes me think. You know, on the keg, parties, on the beach. And I remember discussing and talking to people about entanglement, about spooky science at a distance. You know, this is La Jolla, you know, I mean, right there. I remember thinking to myself, and I remember standing up in my class at Weber State at a very young age and saying, how can you call quantum physics, how can you call, you know, the whole, how can you call that science? I remember standing up telling a professor, you know, I remember my grandpa talking about SDSU on the 80s. He says that's the most disgusting place in the world. Who lived next door to Leo, who wrote the letter, who was so remorseful. My grandparents were personal close friends with Frank Church from Idaho, getting down right here, getting down with Ezra Pound in the breeding grounds. James Jesus Singleton was from Idaho, Boise. Ezra Pound born, getting down in the fucking breeding ground. Yeah, I grew up fucking fishing on Redfish Lake when there was still fish. Mark Felt, Deep Throat, Idaho. There's a connection between Idaho and Pacific Beach, California, and there always has been. I remember thinking and talking to my professor, and I'm like, how can you call that science? It's philosophy. It's not science. You cannot. And I remember him telling, no, Kevin, you're right. Biology and science, if that's where you're going, has to be something that you could prove, Kevin. I mean, I had really marquee, incredible fucking biology professors. You have to be able to prove it. And I said, well, how can you call this science then? Because he proved it. Just shot the photon from here to there, and they show up simultaneously at the same place. Braun to Einstein. So you mean to tell me you looked up at the moon and it's not dark on the other side? Braun says, maybe. That's when Einstein named it spooky science at a distance. I knew all that. I mean, I remember him telling me, no, you have to be able to prove it. How do you prove it? One, you hypothesize it. These are full-blown out fucking meltdowns. Never happened before. It's going to fucking break the fucking chain. Second, you have to do the field work. You have to have the field observation. I remember a biologist when I was young in La Jolla who fucking told the Birch Aquarium and told SDA to fuck off. I remember talking to him, I mean, at night, drinking beer by the fire fucking pits in the late 70s. And he was studying octopus. I says, oh, they blow my fucking mind, man. Fucking octopus fucking tripped me fucking out. He says, you know they have 8 brains. I knew that. They have brains in their arms. He says, my aquarium. He says, my aquarium. I kept going into my fucking office there. And they was always be out. I don't know how the fuck they got out. I mean, it's impossible for them to get out. You know, he fixed it. He says, I put artificial turf. When that was a big subject matter. Go Chargers, fucking the old stadium. It was called San Diego Stadium before it named Jack Murphy. Jack Murphy died of cancer, by the way. He says they knew it was so freaky and so unforeign they would stay in. He's the same guy that told me, he says, you know, I have fucking glass this thick on my fucking aquarium. I thought somebody was coming in. I'm fucking 17, 18 years old. He says, I thought somebody was coming in and vandalizing it. Every morning I come in, the thicker the grass I had, it was broken. I couldn't figure out. And this is long before you had any fucking cameras or anything shit. He says they finally hit him. It was the shrimp. I saw a shrimp via him. He showed me, look at this. And he showed me a shrimp cracking a shellfish. Busting it open. I'm like, holy fuck, that's what it was. He says they're like the ant of the sea. They're the strongest creatures on the planet. The tide pools at PB Point. I think it's so fucking irony. Right under the Crystal Pier, right there where he used to hang, Cameron, where I used to hang. That's my place. It's the only place I find any starfish. I mean, how well that place trips me out. That's where Zappa wrote Black Water. Right there, I spent so much of my fucking life right there. What a special place. You know, I was given 2 months to live. I rehabbed there. What a really special place. What a special place. Anybody who's in the ecology world, who's in the science world, who is a Californian, fucking on the coast, or Oregonian, pulled it up, just is not heartbroken by what's happened since Fukushima. What the fuck's the matter with you, dude? Really, what is the matter with you, dude? What the fuck? What the fuck? You know that line in the movie that you can't ever find it, whatever, you gotta watch the whole movie. When he was the smart one. Spicoli was the smart one. He living life, fucking shirt off, fucking girls, fucking drinking. By the way, fucking, even San Diego had nothing on here in Ogden, Utah. What a gem, man. What a fucking gem. So lucky that I got to grow up there and here on this beautiful college. It's so heartbreaking to watch it die and fucking crash. My whole life. Breaks my fucking heart, honestly. One thing I've learned, Mr. Han, one thing I've learned. There goes 3 mallards screaming across here. Boy, they're flying. By the way, if I could come back as an animal, what would you come back as? Bull elk at fucking Hardware Ranch? With your harem? Monterey? A fucking seal? They're just like us. How about a duck? A mallard? The way they fly, look how good looking they are and how beautiful they are. They can fly like no other. They can walk. They can swim. I used to like to swim there. Fucking dive in. There's one seagull playing in the wind. Right at us. Nice. Nice, man. Fucking awesome. Just having some fun in the wind, man. The one line in the movie, he says, one thing I've learned, Mr. Han, the only real knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. I think you have to get there, which I have got there. I got there a long, long, long time ago when I was young. I wasn't arrogant. I listened. I paid attention to those fucking people. I listened to them. And I cleaned my palate. Was it a psychological slight, they call it? Yeah, maybe. But I had my palate clean. My brain pan clean. Hanging out at Tourmaline. came in with the fucking open mind when Fukushima happened. Hypothesis, I did the field with the greatest PhD. What did I get for it? Well, all I ever wanted. You know the rest. That really is all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. Catch a little buzz, fucking sunset. Cute girls to hang around with. You know, watch some fucking football at fucking Jack Murphy Stadium. Watch Tony Gwynn with his bat. Fucking here in the beautiful fucking Ogden, Utah. Look up the mighty Mount Ogden. Watch the fucking blue herons, the tundra swans. Fuck, right now, the tundra swans coming in when I was for fucking all my life. Watch them right here. Beyonce. Watch the whales at fucking Diablo Canyon Bay. Fucking up and down that coast like no other. Fucking so spiritual. Fuck, you don't even know, man. You don't even know how spiritual. Sleeping in a sleep bag, dying of fucking cancer with no money, just me and the sea. Fuck. I look back on it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I was dying of cancer. What a trip, man. The fight goes on. I fight for her. Remember when you were about peace? Oh, you beautiful fucking Southern California females had the flowers in your hair. You're in Utah. Remember that? You traded in for a shiny coffin up and down the 5 for 15. Why? For what? Not me, man. Not me. I'm old school. Still am. I'll be back there working the tide pools fucking soon. Which, by the way, I actually love. Going across there like a shorebird. I'm never going to change. Running my high school girlfriend down there when I had cancer. I sucked up sitting firmly. She come up. Somebody told me about you. I knew you were to be city at sunset. She just cried. That's no cry. I'm not going to die. I weighed 119 pounds. I could barely walk. We walked up Tourmaline Canyon, and I says, remember when I put that handprint in there? You and I, our handprint in the cement when they poured it that day? Yeah. She just cried. I said, don't cry, man. I'm not going to fucking die. Don't cry. Love Mother Earth. Love Mother Earth. Get back to your fucking beautiful fucking journey. What a spiritual fucking journey. I never changed. I never changed. Never changed. I never changed. I never changed. Everything else changed. Everything else changed. Everything else changed. Let's go Tony Gwynn down the right field line. The old San Diego State. Remember, he was the basketball player. In the wind. It was going to be a tough one. Give me a pitch to hit, man. can't drink on the beach. It's a $300 fine. You know my favorite thing to do is down there? I'll stand there at the beach, looking over there by Nick's, look whatever, the giant screens they have all over. And a group of us, we sit outside and fucking drink. You know, cops all know me, whatever. I drink garbage. Is that coffee you got? Yeah. Watch the games outside. They force us into the bars to pay $15. Really? $15 a fucking beer? What haven't they stole from us? The typos at your feet. Foul ball. You got 2 strikes, man. You got 2 strikes, Blanche. Just like when I was in the Baltimore transplant unit. Fucking dying. I've always been my most accurate when everything's against me. Don't strike out, man. Yeah. I beat that one out. Guy first. Mom, give me a pitch, man. Don't walk me. I'm not taking a ball. Called 3rd strike. I won't. I won't. Remember when you were about peace and love? Remember when we were about peace and love? The animals? Remember when we went well watching and holding hands? Remember that? Remember that? Remember the keg parties? We gave a fuck. Remember that? Remember that? Lord, I remember. Remember that? Beautiful night, man. Oh, beautiful night. No birds. Robin sings. What a journey, man. Blue in the sky. What a radical, acute, nasty collapse to our ecology. A beautiful talk about romantic. All true romance, they're full of tragedy. This is the greatest tragedy in history. The Great Pacific Genocide. Be back on the ocean soon. Stay tuned.